or 4 folds out of it, so it makes kind of a flat roll. And then I'm going to put it under my pelvis when I come down for constructive rest. Okay, so once you get a blanket set up, you can come down and put the back of your pelvis on top of this, and then let your knees bend and your feet come to the floor, and bring your feet a little wider than your knees. Let your knees hang toward the middle. Does that make sense? So you're just going to fold it up little by little on itself. You can roll it, but I'd rather you try to get it flat-ish so that when it's under your pelvis, it's kind of a level. So just kind of fold it, fold it, fold it. And then put your hips on this and lie down on your back. And then you'll have your knees bent, feet on the floor. You'll have your tailbone tucked under so that the back of your pelvis sort of slides back off the edge of the blanket. You don't want your tailbone to hang down off the front. You really want to slide off the back. Yeah, y'all look good. And let your feet be a little wider than your knees. Yeah. Your knees don't have to come together and touch, but if they do, that's fine. And then your arms are extra here, so wherever it feels comfortable for your arms to be, let them rest. If you're feeling a little chilly, you might want to start out with something over top of your middle to feel warmer in the space. Once you get here, allow your breath to relax and quiet. Notice where your breath has landed in your body this morning. With each exhalation, allow yourself to drop in a little deeper. Feel the weight of your pelvis a little heavier. Let the knees hang toward each other and let the hip creases hold on to that weight. Feel the insides and the outside edges of your feet. So for those of you who are just joining us, welcome, welcome this morning. We're resting here with a blanket under our hips for constructive rest. So if you have a folded blanket and you want to give that a try, you could fold the blanket so you have a bit of a lift. Put it under the back of your pelvis. Rest down on your back. Separate your feet wider than your knees. Allow your knees to hang toward each other. Allow your arms to rest somewhere on the floor or on top of your belly. As you breathe in, send space in between each of your vertebrae. And as you breathe out, settle deeper into the floor. The earth beneath us is here for support. especially in times like these where there is much uncertainty. The earth under our feet, under our physical body, is always a constant. You can rely on this to support you and hold you. Today we're going to touch on a few different grounding postures to help remind us that the earth is here for us. So let's begin to add a little bit of movement today. First, in the lungs, take a deep breath in and a big sigh out your mouth. And now, as much as your shoulders will allow, extend your arms behind your head for a long stretch. Reach out and squeeze and open your fingers and twirl them around. Roll your wrists, squeeze and open your fist. And relax your arms down by your sides. So let's try that with our legs as well. Slide one or both legs out in front of you. Now you might need to adjust the placement of that blanket. We want to try to keep the low belly pulled in and the lower, the back of the pelvis pressed down into the mat. Extend your legs. Rotate your ankles around in circles. Squeeze and open your toes. Point and flex in the ankles. Now, if it's comfortable, you can try both at the same time. Your legs are already extended, so experiment with reaching your arms up, biceps coming by your ears, and extend your whole body. Take care, extra contraction in lower belly so that you keep pressure on the blanket that's under the back of your pelvis. We don't want to tip up and arch the low back. We want to keep it neutral here. All right, so we're going to bring the right knee to the chest and hold on with your hands. You have the option here to bend your left knee and anchor your left foot on the floor if you feel too uncomfortable here. Wherever you are, let's rotate the knee around in circles. So nice and slow. You might want to use only one hand. That might be easier for you. Circle it around. See how wide to the side you can bring your knee. How wide open can you pull your leg? And if your left leg is straight, focus on pressing it away from you. Pushing out away from your body. Now squeeze that right knee in nice and tight right up by your shoulder. And kick it straight up toward the ceiling now. Yeah. As you push your foot up toward the ceiling, flex and point. Then let's go back and forth. Bend the knee, pull your foot towards your body. And straighten your leg, push your heel to the sky. Bend your knee, pull it in tight. Straighten, kick it up toward the ceiling. Don't forget the abdominals. Keep them squeezed in. One more time. Bend your knee, pull it close. Straighten your leg, push it up. Now, engage the low belly really strong. We're going to slowly lower that straight leg all the way down to the floor. Once you arrive, give your legs a little shake, and we'll take the other knee into the chest when you're ready. So the left knee is going to come in. Adjust the back of your pelvis against that blanket. If at any time the blanket's too uncomfortable, just get rid of it. It's a little extra piece here. So let's take the left knee and circle it around and around and around. You want to be sure to go both directions, so give it a few times. You might want to use only one hand to give you more space. Reverse direction. knee in nice and tight. Squeeze it all the way in. And from here, we'll go up toward the ceiling. Push your heel up, flex your ankle. Back and forth. Bend your knee, point your toe. Push straight leg, flex your ankle. Back and forth. Remember that right leg is pressing out. It's anchoring us forward and down. Lower belly still attaching you to your blanket. All right, the next time you kick up, hold still here. Press lower belly down to your blanket. Tighten up your left quadriceps and slowly lower this leg all the way to the ground. Once you reach the floor, shake your legs side to side a bit. Then extend arms overhead. One last time, big long stretch. And release, both knees slide bent. Bring your feet all the way in near the blanket. Bridge pose, lift your hips up, up, up. Remove your blanket from underneath. Now that your hips are up, we're also going to take the arms up and overhead. Exhale, slowly lower. Everything comes back down. Hips and arms all the way down. We'll go back and forth like that, all right? With your in-breath, lift hips and arms all the way up. Breathing out, lower all the way back down. Keep it going. Pressing through the soles of both feet. Lifting from your tailbone. One more of these. Lift and lower with your breath. And the next time you come down onto your back, we're going to bring both knees in toward the chest. You can hold behind or on top of the knees, your choice where you want to squeeze. Bring your knees in and out. So squeeze them in tight, then let them go away. Squeeze and release. Get a little mini rock and roll, just the lower half of the body. Squeeze the knees. Your pelvis might lift away from the floor. Add your abdominals here. See how much of this squeeze you can make happen with your lower abdominals. Lift your pelvis. Okay, you ready to get a full body rock and roll? Let's go. Roll it a little bit more. Keep your body in a ball as best you can. Squeeze your abdominals. You should feel a lot of action there. All the way up this time. And release. Okay, good morning. Okay, let's come to a comfortable seat. If you want to use a cushion or a blanket to sit on, go right ahead. You're going to sit up tall. I've got my shins crossed. You can do whichever you like. Sit comfortably, but lift your spine. And we're going to stretch out the back again. Hands on the front of the kneecaps, cat and cow. Round it back and lift your heart. Back and forth like this. Use your breath. Think about soothing your body. Notice the connection through all of this to the earth below. Sides of your feet, ankles, both sitting bones. Pull that energy up from the earth and shine it out through your heart and your crown. All right, fold forward now over your legs. Reach those fingers out the front. Drop your elbows and your head. Inhale, lift your head, walk yourself back in. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Give them a little loosey shake side to side. We're going to take a rotation now for the back. So bend your left knee and put your left foot on the floor. The right leg is extended straight and strong. So from here, we're going to start by rotating. I got to go the other way. We're going to start by rotating to the left. So turn your shoulders and chest toward your bent knee. Left fingers behind. Right hand or wrist or elbow crook can hold the knee. Lift up tall. As you rotate your ribs to the left, allow your left arm to float and maybe looking toward your fingertips. All right, now let's make a big fan with this left arm and we're going to rotate forward and back. So as you inhale, rotate toward the front of your mat and bring your left fingers forward. As you exhale, go in reverse, rotate it out. Inhale, come center. Exhale, open up. Inhale, center. Exhale, open up. One more, center. Exhale, open. All right, drop this left hand down to the floor behind you. Take your right elbow, bend it in by your body, reach it up to the sky. Now here's a little option to do a little balance. You're gonna press into both feet and the hand that's on the floor. See if you can lift your hips a little bit away from the floor. Right? You might lift them more and more and more. That's up to you once you get stable. Then come back down and release. Okay, nice try. Let's go on the other side. Shake your legs out. Bend your opposite knee. So now we've got the right knee bent and the left leg straight. Turning your ribs toward the right. Right fingers go behind. Left hand or wrist or elbow crook is going to hold on to your knee. Sit tall. Don't neglect this left leg, please. Tighten up those quadriceps. Push your foot forward and down. Right? As you rotate, let's try. Reach your right arm out behind you and gaze toward your thumb as best your neck will allow. All right, let's make that big fan out of our arm. As you inhale, center again. Exhale, rotate again. Inhale, center. Turn your chest toward your front foot. Exhale, open. So your arm that's holding your knee is going to need to slide. Let yourself come back to the front. Open up. Slide back. And open up. Okay, hold this open here. Your right arm is reached out behind you. Drop that palm to the floor, somewhere behind or beside your hip. Your other arm is going to come in, palm by your shoulder, then reach it up to the sky. Press down into both feet and hands. See if you can scoop your belly and lift your cheeks off the floor. Even a half an inch, a quarter of an inch. Try to use the abdominals and give yourself a little oof to push up a little bit. All right, nice work. Have a seat back down. Okay, shake your legs out. Let's reach the legs nice and long in front of us. Then we'll drop back onto our forearms on your elbows. Okay? Shake your legs out. Loosen up those hip flexors. So we're going to take upper body cat and cow, but I want you to stay grounded here. So heels to the floor, backs of your calves and thighs and hips, palms and forearms to the floor. So you're up, so you're sort of up a little bit on your forearms. Instead of lying completely flat on your back, you're up on your forearms. Yeah. Then from here, what we're going to do is cat and cow. So see if you can round in your upper back. Then do the opposite. Lift your chest and look at the sky. Back and forth. Round, chin to chest. Inhale, lift your chest, look at the sky. It might not be comfortable for you to look behind you, so I don't want to recommend that. Some of you might find that's okay. My neck doesn't like that, so I don't like to do that. All right, last one. Now, drop your chin to your chest, scoop your abdominals, press into your hands, and see if you can lift yourself to seated. Get there however works for you. We're going to sit in Dandasana, straight legs, palms beside us. Then we'll bring the arms up to the sky and exhale, lean forward. Okay. So put as much effort into your arms as your shoulders will allow. Some of you, I know, straight arms, biceps by the ears are not going to work. If that's not going to work for your shoulders, release them down and maybe reach out in the front. Okay. For my friends who want a little more action for their arms, you could take a block between your palms, press into that, and keep the biceps by your ears as you press and reach. There's always options to go up and options to go down. You decide. You're in charge of your practice. Now can we make this rowing? We're going to drop the arms down toward the floor. Bend your elbows. So if you have a block, you're going to need to put it down for this. Bend your elbows, bring it out, and take your hands up over your head. Reach out the front, lean a little bit. Reach your arms forward, down, drag your fingers along the floor as you sit up. Pull your arms in and up overhead. So just sort of rolling your arms around. This reminds me of the locomotive. Rolling those wheels. Keep your quadriceps turned on, your ankles flexed, heels pressing to the floor, strong core and strong spine. Last one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale out the front and hold. Lower your arms down to the floor. Sit up tall again to Dandasana. Bend your right knee and drop your knee open to the side. Turn your ribs toward your bent knee. Side stretch. We're going to take the left arm with the straight leg and the right arm up to the sky. Tip toward your straight leg, leaning over. So whatever leg is out straight, I've got my left leg out. My left arm is going to go with my straight leg. The heart is turned away from the leg, like I'm doing triangle, and maybe the right arm is up in the air. If that doesn't work on your shoulder, you can put your hand down somewhere comfortable. Think about that heart open and notice the grounding to the earth. Pressing down through both feet, sitting bones, ankles. Inhale, rise. Change legs. Bring your other leg straight, your right leg, and tuck in your left. I know everybody at home, you don't have as much space sometimes, so figure out how you can move around and get comfortable. We got the opposite leg, the second side is straight, so the same side arm is going to go with that straight leg. Rotate your chest toward that bent knee, lift your left overarm to the sky, lean sideways toward your straight leg, and reach across. Again, notice the grounding to the earth here. Pressing down. Open your heart. So if keeping your arm in the air is turning your chest toward the floor, try dropping your hand to your hip or your waist. Then pull the head of the arm bone behind and think about triangle. Think about how you can rotate your heart forward and open. Beautiful. Let's come on back up. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release. Let's come to hands and knees, please. Tabletop. If you need extra support, go ahead and put your blanket or your cushion there. Wrists are under forearms if you're going on your wrists. Knees are under your hips, right? So I think some of you know a nice alternative is blocks in a V shape, forearms on your blocks, then you don't have to be on your wrists, right? Let's take a side-to-side hip swish, back and forth. Side to side in the hips. Now I want you to think about what's happening in the lower abdominals. What's going on in that golden triangle? Did it fall out on the floor? And if so, scoop it up, tuck it back in, and buckle your lower ribs and your hips to each other. All right, now we'll take cat and cow, going rounded and extended spine. Tuck your toes underneath, sit back to your heels, stretch your feet. Reach your hands as far out in front of you as you can make them go. As you inhale, rise again to tabletop. Bring your shoulders forward so they're over your wrists, and maybe now your hips are forward of your knees. Keep your toes tucked under, find downward dog. Lift your hips up and press back. Inhale, rock forward, shoulders over wrists. Lower your knees. Pull your hips back, sit on your feet. We'll go back and forth between those places. Inhale, forward, shoulders over wrists, lift your knees. Downward dog as you exhale, press back. Inhale, rock forward, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, lower your knees, sit back to your heels. Let's go twice more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lift and push to downward dog. Inhale, plank. Lower your knees. Sit on your heels. One last time. Inhale, rock forward. Lift your knees. Downward dog. Inhale, forward. Lower your knees. This time, untuck your toes if you haven't already and sit all the way back for child's pose. We're going to rest the wrists and the shoulders in child's pose. So whatever shape feels good, you might want to roll your wrists around while you're in child's pose. You might want to make prayer hands and elbows forward and thumbs behind your head to really stretch the underside of the shoulder. That feels nice to some people. You might now feel comfortable to sit all the way back on your feet. Just the option, you could put something under you, a blanket or a block. That way you won't have to go back so far. And you can come to your elbows or a stack of fists under your head or a block, pillow. Inhale, rise up to tabletop, please. Let's extend the left leg and the opposite fingers. Reach those pieces up away from the floor. Extend long out away from your middle. Pick up your middle, pull it in toward your waist. Exhale, knee, elbow, chin to chest. Inhale, extend. Hold. Exhale, squeeze again. Inhale, reach. Hold. Exhale, squeeze last time. Inhale, reach. Keep your leg lifted. Drop your hand so both hands are on the floor under your shoulders. You should have your right leg on the floor. So kickstand your right foot to the right and rotate left, reaching your left arm to the sky. So this is sort of half moon on your knee. Left leg is either lifted or foot on the floor. You decide. So a little option here for the low back and the hips. If you want to, bend your knee that's lifted, bend your elbow that's lifted, and squeeze everything together. Knee, elbow, chin. Inhale, extend where you came from. We'll try that one more time if you want to. Squeeze everything in. Inhale, extend up, and release tabletop. Okay, so we're going to come down to lie on our belly next, and we'll take a little cobra series before we do the other side. So bring yourself forward like you're going to do plank, and then you can bend your elbows toward your waist, heart stays forward, get down all the way onto your belly, point your toes, press your palms to the floor, a little bit forward of your shoulders, Elbows are down. Rise up, heart and shoulders and head lift. Exhale, release, roll back down. Go up and down with your breath. Don't forget, toenails are pressing, thighs are strong, hip points are pressing, but our cheeks are not squeezing. This is upper body and legs doing the work, not buttocks. Let's try one more, lift and lower with the breath. All the way up, tabletop next. Okay, let's try extension. So right leg to the back, opposite fingers forward. As you're ready, lift up. You can lift only the leg or only the arm if you don't want to lift both pieces, but make sure you're on opposite arm and leg, not the same side. And hopefully you're doing the opposite side that you didn't already use. Deep breath in. Breathe out, squeeze to the middle, knee, elbow, chin. Breathe in, extend and hold. Exhale, squeeze to the middle. Inhale, extend and hold. Last one, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, extend and hold. Now keep your leg lifted. Drop both hands so they're under your shoulders. Kickstand your left foot to the left so it extends off the back of your mat. Lift your right arm as you reach up to the sky. So think about half moon. Where's your tailbone? It's not poking out the back, it's pressing forward. Lift the ankle, the side of your leg. If you want to, you could always have your foot on the floor if that feels more stable. Now this last option, just for extra fun, bend your elbow, knee, and chin and squeeze toward each other. Inhale, extend out. One more time, squeeze everything in together. Inhale, extend out. Release, hands and knees to the floor. Child's pose, settle back in. So if child's pose does not mean relaxing to you, do something else. Something that means relaxing. Maybe you want to lie on your belly. Maybe you would rather take downward dog, whatever. One more breath, then press yourself to downward dog, please. Lift up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees a little bit, walk your hands back to your feet and find forward fold, lowering your heels as you go. Forward folding. Look for this release in your low back. So for you, that might mean you need to bend your knees. Maybe you need to put some blocks under your knees. And let's swish the hips side to side. Bend one knee and then the other. Side to side. Don't let the belly hang out. We need the belly to support our back. All right, come to stillness. Bend your knees deeply. Lift your head and heart. Rise all the way up. Reach to the sky. Palms touch and return to your heart. Lower your hands. Inhale, arms sweep all the way up. Palms touch. Bend your elbows, fold forward all the way down through the center. Walk your hands forward, bend your knees as you travel, coming to plank, all the way out the front, plank. Breath in, breathing out, lower to your belly. Drop your knees if you want to. Cobra as you breathe in. Pull your belly, tabletop, tuck your toes, downward dog. Now we're going to walk the hands back to the feet. Use your belly. Pull your hips back to help you. Push your hands back to your feet. Standing forward fold once you get there. Half lift, heart comes forward. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, lift your head and heart, rise all the way up. Reach your hands to the sky. Palms touch, hands come to your heart. We'll take a side stretch this time. Inhale, your arms reach to the sky. Take the right wrist from behind and lean left. Allow your hips to push out to the right as you go. Inhale, rise. Change hands. Hold the left wrist from behind. Tip over to the right. Hips slide out to the left side. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk your hands forward to plank. Drop your knees. This time, bring your right foot forward for a low lunge. So we got the right foot in front of us. We're standing on our left knee. Maybe you don't want to stand on your left knee. In that case, you're taking warrior one, standing all the way up. You decide where you want to be today. All right? So we're going to settle here. The back toes can point or tuck. That's your choice, but please use them. Push the toes into the floor. One or both arms are going to reach up. You decide how you feel stable. Then we're going to exhale, elbows bend, lift the heart. Inhale, rise. One more, exhale, elbows bend, lift the heart. Inhale, rise. Lower your right hand to your hip. Exhale, lean right, reach across. Inhale, lift to straighten your torso. Lean again to the right, exhale. Inhale, lift, straighten your torso. Reach your left arm open to the left. Then twist right and bring your left fingers forward. Yeah, that's it, good. Reach those left fingers straight out the front of your mat. If you want to and you feel stable, do the opposite with your other arm, your right arm. Reach it out the back. So that might not feel good on your shoulders. So let it be comfortable and find the twist in your lower ribs and especially in your low waist. Good. Let's come back to center. Both arms to the sky, reach up. Exhale, we're gonna come back to tabletop. Maybe you put a hand on that lifted knee and the other hand on the floor. Then move your leg out of the way to get to tabletop. Let's try plank. Straighten your legs, nice and strong. Deep breath in. Come to the floor. Lower your knees if you want to. All the way to your belly. Elbows point backward. Inhale, cobra, rise up. Exhale, tabletop, downward dog, or child's pose. You decide. Catch your breath here a moment. And once again, we're going to walk backwards. Lift your heels a bit, bend your knees a bit. Pull your navel towards your spine and push yourself back to your feet. Standing forward fold. Half lift, rise up. Forward fold, drop in. Bend your knees, lift from your head and heart, stand all the way up. Exhale, palms touch and come to your heart. Inhale, both arms lift. Take your right wrist from behind and lean left. Inhale, lift tall, change hands, take your left wrist from behind, lean right. Inhale, stand tall, palms touch, forward fold as you drop all the way down. Half lift, open your heart, reach forward, forward fold, exhale, walk out, tabletop, bend your knees, drop them to the floor. Then bring your opposite left foot to the front, kneeling, left foot forward lunge. So you know all the options. If you need blocks to feel supported, bring them under your shoulders. Bring a chair nearby. Hold on to somebody. That's what your friends are for in your house, right? And you need them. Press into your leg if you want to and stay right here. Otherwise, one or both arms are going to reach up toward the sky. Remember, we're using the foot in the back also. Maybe the toes are tucked under and pressing. Maybe they're pointed and pressing. You decide. Breathe in as you lift. Breathe out, elbows bend, open your heart. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, elbows bend, lift your heart. Inhale, reach up. Put your left hand on your hip as you exhale, lean left. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, lean left. Inhale, lift your torso tall. Open your right arm to the right. Twist left. Bring your right fingers in front of you. So reach your right fingers straight out the front edge of your mat. Instead of crossing them over your chest, reach them in front of you. Tailbone drops down and presses forward, right? Okay. Maybe your other arm, your left arm, reaches opposite toward the back. Just the idea, it doesn't have to go there. Notice if it feels really awkward, it probably doesn't need to be there, so put it back. All right. Inhale, rise both arms to the sky, and we'll come back to tabletop. Place your left hand on your knee, right hand to the floor. Get your knee out of the way as you come down to table, and your choice. We're gonna come to plank, and then you decide, knees down or up, we're gonna drop to the floor, all the way down to your belly. Cobra as you inhale, rise. Tuck your toes, downward dog, press back. Child's pose is always an option, you decide. Lift your heels a bit, bend your knees a bit, walk your hands backward, find forward fold. Half lift as you inhale, bring your heart forward, exhale, forward fold. We're gonna come into warrior two. So to get there, walk your hands forward a bit and come to your knees. Bring your left foot forward and bring it between your hands. Straighten your back leg and drop your heel to the floor. Rotate yourself up into warrior two. So, it doesn't always look pretty, it doesn't always work, but eventually we get there, right? Nice. Bring your arms out wide, settle in deep to your hips. So drop in. So we don't always have a mirror when we practice yoga. So if you happen to be in a place where you can see your physical body now that we're on Zoom, you could see if one hip is below the other. And you could maybe see if your knee is sagging in and maybe pull that back. So use your tricks here to help you out. Let's take reverse warrior. Lower your right arm down. Lift your left palm up as you lean toward the back edge of your mat. Keep your pelvis square. Don't let that left hip drop lower than the right hip. Nice and level. If you put your hands right now flat on top of your hip points, you could be able to tell if one is above the other. Okay? So if you have settled into your back hip, your back hand should be higher. So we don't want that. We want nice and even. Okay? Warrior two, come back in. Now we'll take side angle, lean left, reach out the left, and place your hand or your elbow to your knee. Sweep your right arm across, bicep by your ear. Really tighten up your quadriceps in the back. Pull in your navel. Squeeze your abdominals. Now let's see, can you open your heart any more? Maybe reach the right arm to the sky instead of over your ear, or maybe drop it behind your waist and pull the head of your arm bone back. Okay, release warrior two. Straighten both legs, parallel your feet, hands to your waist. Okay, forward fold. Here we go. Bend your knees as much as you need as you travel. Reach out the front. Heart stays lifted till the very end, please. Hands land on your blocks or a chair or the floor. Long body. Let your hands rest somewhere to support you. And feel how you can drop in as you lift the tailbone up. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, bend your knees. Bring yourself up. Hands could come to your knees or your waist, lifting tall. Let's try the other side, warrior two. Rotate your left leg to the left. Bend into your knee. Again, notice here if you've shifted your weight into your left hip. And take straight legs to start. And as you bend the right knee, notice how that allows the hips to lower without dropping one hip. Okay? Arms open wide. Nice and strong. Now we're going to take reverse warrior. Lift your right arm up, leaning toward the back. Careful not to put pressure on your left leg. You want to tighten the quads, yes, but you don't want to push down with your left hand. And release warrior two. Let's slide to side angle. Reach to the right, way out over your knee. Maybe your hand supports you on your knee or slide to your elbow. Then your left arm is going to sweep across, bicep by your ear. Maybe that's not the best place for your shoulder. Is your heart pointing at the carpet? If it is, rotate it up so you point forward. Try this looking at your fingertips at the sky. Reach up. Or maybe try dropping your left arm behind your waist and pulling the head of the arm bone back. All right, release. Rise up, warrior two. Straighten your legs. Parallel your feet. One more forward fold. All right, hips are coming out the back. Maybe soften your knees as you travel. Heart stays lifted, gaze stays lifted till the very end. Drop in. Think about lifting up your tailbone as you forward fold. Press into the outside edges of your feet, but also your big toes. Halfway lift as you inhale. Coming to standing, bend your knees a little, pull your navel in, help yourself up. And release. Exhale, bring your feet together, heel toe, heel toe. Shake out those tired feet. Roll your ankles around a few times each direction. Let's try both feet, so switch over to the other foot if you're still on the first one. And bend your toes forward and backward. All right. Okay, let's try a balance move here. We're going to come into chair pose, and from chair we're going to stand in a single leg knee lift. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. If you want to go grab a piece of furniture to bring with you, or if you want to go stand near the wall, now's your chance. So let's bring a little space between your feet and bend your knees coming into chair pose. Shift your weight onto your right foot, and as you inhale, come to standing on that right leg, but lift your left knee up, then put it back down, go into chair pose again, drop down. Okay, both knees bend. Now we shift the weight over to stand on the other leg, and as you stand up straight on that left leg, lift your right knee and go back down into chair pose. All right, so we're going back and forth to chair and then standing up on one leg. So the knee that's lifting, it doesn't have to go high. Just try to shift the weight onto the other foot and try to make all the standing action happen on that one leg at a time. So maybe you stand on one leg and your toe stays on the floor. Perfectly fine, yeah? Maybe your knee comes all the way up and you squeeze it up into your ribs. That works too. They're just different ways of getting the same ending. Make sure you're still breathing. Give yourself a little smile. Chair in the middle. Stand up. All right. Finish up so you've done both sides equally if you remember where you started. Then we'll stand all the way, reach both arms to the sky. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms and press them up to the sky if that works for your shoulders. Now maybe a little bit of a back bend. Bring your hands behind your head a little bit if you can stretch them behind you. And maybe lift your heart. Tailbone drops, lower ribs snuggle in together. Open across the chest. And release, come back down, let go. Okay, let's give ourselves a big hug. We'll wrap around the other way. So this is a nice stretch for the upper back. So I'm going around the outside edges of my shoulders instead of up and over the top of the shoulder. Maybe you can add a little rounding of your back, chin tucks. Maybe you want to rock a little bit side to side. Get into some of those additional stretches of the muscles in the back. Then we'll take a big inhale and open your arms super wide. We're going to cross the arms again, but put the other arm on the top as you reach around the outside. Yeah. Same idea as before. You don't want to go over the top of your shoulder. You want to reach around the outside. Tuck your chin. And then rock a little bit side to side. Round your upper back. Think about really stretching into all the connective tissue that's attached to your scapula back there. Maybe you want to move your head a little. All right, as you inhale, open your arms up super wide. Big breath in and exhale, release. All right, my friends, we are out of time for today. So let's bring ourselves back down onto the mat. And I'd like to finish with a reclined twist. So let's come onto our back. And we'll start by squeezing the knees into your heart. We did this at the beginning of class. Both knees are going to come in. You'll hold them with your hands. And I want you to use your abdominals to lift your hips away from the floor and squeeze your knees toward your body. Just rock back and forth with the lower belly. Now we're going to come to a twist with the knees to the left. So it might feel good to you to have both knees together out on the left and rotate your heart open, extending out your right arm. If that's not comfortable for you, please modify into a shape that feels okay. You might want to bring your feet to the floor first, then gently lower your knees a little bit to the left. Your body will tell you. If your twist feels uncomfortable, your body is not going to be able to relax and find the grounding in the shape. So find a place that feels good. Another tip, you could put your blanket or a block underneath your bottom leg, and then another one between your legs. And that will allow your pelvis to softly twist instead of deeply. One more breath before you come back to the center. Then when you come back to the middle, bring your knees in again and take a few more of those squeezes. Lift your hips off the floor by squeezing your abdominals. Now we'll drop the knees to the right. Resting on your upper back, both arms out open, perhaps. If that is not your twist today, find another one. Inhaling, bring yourself back to the center. Take any final stretches or movements that your body needs this morning. Maybe a little kick to the sky inversion. Maybe a little back bending of the heart. Maybe raising your hips or raising your chest. When you're ready, gather up your socks and your sweaters and your eye pillows and blankets and any cozy treats you have to settle into your favorite shape for Shavasana. So as you get settled into your Shavasana, allow your body to be heavy. Once again, connect to the earth through that grounding sensation. Each inhalation fills you with fresh energy, and the exhalation drop down into the earth. Deepening your breath. And begin to invite small movements into fingers and toes. In the interest of time, we're going to shorten up this Shavasana. If you would like to rest here for any longer, please by all means stay in Shavasana. Just reach over and turn your screen off and enjoy the rest of your time. If you're closing practice with me, begin to extend your arms and legs out nice and long and squeeze your knees into your chest. As you're ready, roll to your side and press upright to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Take a moment to remind yourself once again that even in these times that are swirling and anxious and uneasy, we have the earth underneath all of our feet, holding us all, anchoring us together. Deep breath in, reach your hands up to the sky. Exhale, open your arms wide around and bring your hands back together in front of your heart. Thank you, everyone. Please remain safe. Remind yourself that we are all here to support each other. Continue to share with us in this practice. Namaste.